Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's January 3rd, 2022. I got that right. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always in this new year by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we talk about the news of the day. And Matt, we made it through New Year's weekend. I can officially say my hangover's totally gone. You know, let me tell you something. It was the coolest thing in the world. On New Year's Eve night, as the clock struck 12, we had a group chat going on in the message board war room at CaneSport.com. And I was answering questions, and we were, talking about all different kinds of stuff. And Miley Cyrus dropped her top and had her what I'm sure was a fake wardrobe malfunction. We had like a little New Year's Eve party on the message boards, and it was really kind of cool. And can't remember who it was, but somebody was teaching me how to make a new drink with my Grey Goose, and just a great way to ring in the new year with the Canes fam on the message boards at CaneSport.com. But you look no worse for the wear, so I guess you made it through. Wow. I guess you made it through New Year's okay as well. And here we are. It's a new year. It's Monday morning, January 3rd, and things are about to start happening. And a bunch of new coaches expected to start arriving in town today, tomorrow. They got to go through HR. I assume that means they got to pee in a cup and get through all the protocols that they make new employees of the university go through. And they will be full-time Miami Hurricanes coaches, Matt. And we start taking a look at them today on the website with our meet features for each of the new coaches. And, we'll obviously keep introducing those as more coaches become clear. But the Mario Cristobal staff seems to be coming together pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the Oregon staff, you're sure as hell going to like the Miami staff.
I wonder if the Moss brothers sent their plane out to Eugene to bring all these guys together. I bet you they did. I got to try to find that out because they're all coming in mass, I think today, and you'll see them announced either today or tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, there's several of them that are coming in, and I mean, listen, he had a good staff at Oregon, and I don't have any problem whatsoever with him loading up on these guys and bringing them in. And today we introduced the offensive line coach, Alex Mirabal, the strength coach, Aaron Feld, the wide receivers coach, Brian McClendon, and the running backs coach, Jim Mastro, as well as the defensive line coach, Joe Salaleva. So that's 5 out of the 10. Pretty good. And yeah, all from Oregon.
And the most important hires are going to be the coordinators. The position coaches are, I think they're fine. A few of them, and they're keeping, I assume Stephen Field's going to be capped, maybe T-Rob. And that's a pretty good recruiting staff, which really is what Mario is all about. And, great recruiters for position coaches. You can't get enough of those guys. The coordinators are going to be all about X's and O's. You want to bring in coordinators, don't have to be the greatest recruiters in the world to me. Personally, I don't care if they recruit, because when these kids are getting recruited, it's all about the head coach and the position coach. That's it. No kid's ever said to me, I'm coming to Miami because of the coordinator. Yeah, they'll come because of a system. But if they don't like their position coach in that system, they're not coming. If they love their position coach in that system, they're probably coming, especially if there's success within that system. So, if you want to get guys like Brandon Innes, you got to have, that new receivers coach has got to not only bond with him, McClendon, but also they need to have great success, and they need to have a similar wide open offensive attack. That's what Brandon Innes wants. That's what a lot of receivers want nowadays. On defense, the type of guys Miami typically gets are guys that want to play in a 4-3 attacking style defense where the corners are left on an island to make plays and that sort of thing, and have success within that scheme. So again, I'm really more interested to see the coordinators and the position coaches. It's sort of like when you go to a restaurant and you order your meal, the appetizers are great, but like really, the reputation of the restaurant is going to be on the main course, and the coordinators of the main course. The appetizers are fine, like none of these appetizers would I send back. I would probably give a decent Yelp review to all the appetizers at this point, but the coordinators are like a big question mark to me. And from what I've heard really from you, since you're really in tune with this stuff, is that he's doing so many interviews because he knows he has to get this right. You can't rush this hire. I know fans want to know who it is on both sides of the ball, but you can't rush this.
Yeah, like every day I hear a new name. And Mario's always been a guy that is very thorough in his hires, especially coordinators. And like, for example, in working all different sources over the last week or so, I think I have like 10 names that are clearly under consideration for the offensive coordinator job. And, it's really amazing that he has the time to do all those interviews. But listen, I mean, it's also a good sign because it means he's being really, really thorough and he's really looking into all these guys. And then also the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's several candidates on that side of the ball. I haven't been throwing all these names out as we go along. I mean, some of them are sensitive. Some are, it would for us to be throwing these names out on the coordinator jobs, it would be a mistake. I mean, it would really be polluting the environment. I mean, some of them are known. We have reported some of them. Clint Hurt is a candidate for defensive coordinator. We know we've reported that Ken Dorsey is a candidate for offensive coordinator. Kendall Briles is a candidate for offensive coordinator. Those are some, that we have felt comfortable putting out there. But there's some that it would be a big mistake for us to do that. We are not looking to pollute the environment at all. Let Mario do his thing. We'll know soon enough who the choices are, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about them. So we're, that's kind of how we're approaching the coordinator positions. But as Van noticed, it looks like 7 of the 10 slots are filled, unless T-Rob suddenly comes up with something else that it means he's leaving the program. 7 of the 10 coaching slots are filled. So
I think the other missing piece would be the linebackers coach, right? 2 coordinators and the linebackers coach.
And I think that will depend on who the coordinator is,
right?
Is who the linebackers coach ends up being, and then there's like a swing slot that, from what I can gather from talking to a bunch of sources, if James Coley will come here as, say, like an assistant head coach, quarterbacks coach, or something like that, he would probably get one of the slots. If he doesn't come, then you might see Mario Cristobal add a second DBs coach and a recruiter as well to go along with T-Rob. And there's a few different individuals that would be considered for that. One of which I believe would possibly be the Miami Central coach, Roland Smith, who's won so many championships. I've spoken to Roland recently. Roland very badly would love to be on the staff. So, we'll see what happens in that regard. All right. So anyways, you'll be meeting a lot of the coaches here as we go forward, and several of those stories are on the website this morning. Matt, moving on, recruiting. I mean, it's amazing how much recruiting can get done on New Year's weekend, but man, it's like every 5 seconds we get word of a new offer, a new visitor, just so much going on the recruiting front, both in traditional recruiting for the current class, 2022 class, and transfer recruiting. And you're going to see this staff hit the transfer portal hard. That's becoming pretty obvious. So let me just go. I'm just going to go through some of those stories here. There's a linebacker out of UCF by the name of Tatum Bethune. He will be visiting. He's considering Miami. There's a linebacker transfer from UAB by the name of.
Well, hold on. First of all, Bethune's not. But just to make the Bethune is not visiting. He's making a decision without visiting anywhere. He wants to enroll quickly, decide quickly. He's deciding this week. So. And
he said he's not going to wait to visit.
He's not visiting anywhere.
All right.
Look. I mean, he wants to be here. I think if Miami will take him, I think he'll come here. But this is the thing. Like, a lot of these, like the Miami. This is the thing. It's a new era for Miami recruiting, right? In the old days, in the old days, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, if a transfer heard from Manny Diaz, that transfer had an offer. Like that transfer, they wanted him. Manny Diaz didn't like just reach out to people to keep him on the hook, to have plan Bs, plan Cs, and plan Ds. Mario Cristobal has plan Zs, okay? And like these kids, when you talk to them, they don't necessarily know where they are yet. And I'm not sure Mario necessarily knows where they are yet until he really delves into where each guy stacks up. I mean, if there's 10 different linebacker portal guys and they want 2 or 3, you know, he's talking to all 10, just like he's interviewing the coordinators. But like it's constantly shifting and changing based on the information he's getting for which ones he wants. Like, yeah, he'll know he wants this guy. Like for sure this guy, maybe that guy, probably this guy. And like for us as reporters to try and discern, you know, because the coaches aren't allowed to talk about recruits. And, you know, you hear stuff from secondhand sources, of course, outside of the program. But like then you talk to the kids and like the kids are totally confused. Like, you know, like the Bethune kid, like, you know, he thinks that he has a spot at Miami, but like they didn't just come out and say for sure, you know, you can commit whatever it is. Like they're just like, yeah, well, you know, we like you, da 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 da. There's another kid who's like, I'm just not sure. Like they're talking to me, but like they haven't said like for sure I have a spot. So like it's very interesting to see how Mario's doing this. And the one who said he's not sure is Chris Mole, by the way, the UAB transfer we wrote about today also. But like it's very interesting how different Mario approaches recruiting without even having a staff in place. He's doing more work without having a staff in place.
It's unbelievable. What he's doing is unbelievable. But I mean, morning till night, 6 a.m. till midnight, he's going. Like interviewing coaching candidates, calling recruits. I mean, it's just stunning to watch when you compare to the, you know, what he's replacing. I mean, it's just stunning. All right, so you mentioned Chris Mole from UAB. We mentioned Tatum Bethune from UCF. Those are 2 linebackers that they're after in the transfer portal. We've got stories on them on the website today. And obviously, we knew linebacker was a target in the transfer portal, and it is. So is offensive line, Matt. And there's a kid out of the University of Virginia by the name of Ryan Swoboda, who we also learned over the weekend that Miami was after him as well. So Alex Mirabal continuing to spread that net of recruiting. We know of now at least 18 offers that he's got out. I'm not going to assume that we know of every single one of them, but this is a guy that you know. Listen, he's Mario's. He's Robin, Mario's Batman. Okay, they recruit like maniacs together, and these offensive linemen are a big part of the equation.
And we're going to have to start, you know how there was like no such thing as a committable offer. That was a term made up like a few years ago. Like we're going to start this is a plan A recruit, a plan B recruit, a plan C recruit, all the way down to plan Z. Ryan Swoboda is a plan A recruit. Okay. They want this kid to start at right tackle next season. He has an official visit set up for the 14th. He's an experienced guy from UVA. He's played in the ACC, in the Coastal. Started, like you couldn't ask for more than this. You know, the guy's 6'10", 325 pounds. Like this is a guy with, you know, a grad senior. He'll be gone after this year. It doesn't cost you a scholarship spot in terms of kids coming in 2023 where you got to hold on to him for another year if he doesn't pan out, which he will pan out. This is like the perfect fit for Miami. In and out, 1 year fix, position of need, experienced in the conference. Like there's no better plan A kid than this. They got to get this kid. He's coming the 14th. Huge for Miami because he's got to enroll like right after that. I got to check. You know, I've been so busy with recruiting. I have to check when I'll check right now, but they need to enroll at Miami before the final day to add or drop classes. Well, really add classes, not going to be dropping any. So I'm going to look at that right now, but he's got to be enrolled at Miami before then if they're going to get him. If that date passes, he's not coming to Miami. So I'll look that date up right now.
All right, and then there's a couple traditional recruiting stories that are on the website. A really cool story of a defensive end from Oklahoma by the name of Bai Jobe or Bai Joby, not to be confused with Bon Jovi. But Bai Joby came to the United States to play basketball and ended up also playing football, and he's got a Miami offer, and he's going to visit the Canes. And then we've got another story on a 5-star defensive end out of the state of Washington by the name of Jaden Wayne. And he's going to be visiting I believe, for the Elite Prospect Day here coming up later this month. So a lot going on in recruiting.
And I have your information, by the way. Any transfer that comes in that wants to participate in spring practice, which they all do, classes begin January 18th at Miami, so it's a perfect visit weekend, the 14th. I expect any transfers who want to visit to be here then that Miami actually wants. And then the last day to add a course is January 26th. So once January 27th comes, there will be no more transfers that can take part in spring practice. So this will be done. The transfer portal will be done for the spring semester players January 27th, and then it's going to be on to whoever can report in May, June, July, August for any leftover guys that enter the portal after that don't mind waiting until after the spring. So these
guys are visiting on the 14th, right?
14th.
Yeah. So the 14th is going to be a big transfer visit weekend.
Correct. That's the weekend that they got to get all the transfers to visit. But some of these kids don't even need to visit. If they sort of transfer sometimes know what they want way more than a high school.
They're going for 6 months. What do they care? Right. Yeah.
They've been in college. They know what it's all about. They know it's not. If they're looking just for football and that's it, they already. When you're in high school, you're looking for what school do I feel comfortable with. I'm a high school kid. They're a little bit more immature. A mature kid who's been in college for 2, 3, 4 years, they are looking for a place to go where they have a good coach, a good system, where they can start and where they can improve their NFL stock or just make it to the NFL or have a better opportunity to make it to the NFL. And that's it. That's why kids are transferring for the most part, so that are high-level transfers at least.
All right, so that's going to do it for today. A lot of stuff for you guys to enjoy on the website. I'm sure there'll be more probably as the day goes on. And, it's an exciting time with new coaches coming in, new recruits being added to the list, a whole new ball game at the U as we usher in a whole new year as well. And keep an eye on that Canes basketball team. Wednesday night they play Syracuse.
By the way, did I not say that game against Wake Forest was going to be key? I mean, they looked pretty good, I got to say. That's an exciting team.
Very well. They're in first place in the ACC right now. Unbelievable. All right, so for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We thank you for joining us once again on Good Morning CaneSport. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.